Alright, so my video only let me record so long, so I'll continue where I left off here. I was discussing Hunter Henry. Obviously, Antonio Gates is still there for the Chargers. They got plenty of passing options: Travis Benjamin, Keenan Allen, Tyrell Williams. So we'll see if he can produce a little bit better this year. I believe they'll probably target him a little bit more than Gates, as Gates is just probably over the hill, honestly. So we'll see how that works out for you. And then the last two options he has here is the Cardinals defense and Nick Novak at kicker. Cardinals defense was the third-ranked defense last year. I believe they still will be at least top five this year. I like that pick. I think they're a very solid team. And then Nick Novak at kicker for Houston. Really just a kicker. Nothing special in my opinion. Houston should be able to move the ball up and down the field a little bit. He should be solid, but nothing extraordinary in my honest opinion. All right, next up we have Team 7, which I have that as Ray Lego Sr., our defending champion here, 2 times in a row. So take a look at his team at quarterback. He has Tom Brady. He's either 1 or 2 in fantasy this year, in my opinion. He's probably going to be a stud. I mean, great option at quarterback there. Shouldn't have any problems. At running back, he has Jordan Howard, Theo Riddick, Duke Johnson, C.J. Prosise, and that's his running backs there. Jordan Howard, he's a solid running back. He was the number 10 running back last year. With the injury to Cam Meredith there in Chicago, I'm not really sure who is going to be, stopping teams from putting 8 players in the box. They have Kevin White and they have Kendall Wright. It looks like the Bears just cut Victor Cruz today. So just not a lot of options to keep teams from really stuffing the run. He's going to get plenty of opportunities, but nobody's scared of those receivers. Nobody's going to be scared of Mike Glennon or Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. So, yeah, he's going to get a lot of touches, but it's just going to be very difficult, in my opinion, for him to get a lot of yards. Theo Riddick for Detroit, really just a pass-catching option, in my opinion. I don't expect big things out of him. Really, I'm not a fan of that pick much. Same with Duke Johnson. He's just like Theo Riddick, in my opinion. He's going to be the third down back. He's going to catch passes, but how many touches is he going to get? Is he going to get handoffs? Is he going to get opportunities to score in the red zone that are going to really help your team? And then C.J. Prosise, I don't even know how much he's actually going to even get to play, honestly. I know he's more of a pass-catching back. He's playing behind Lacey and Rawls, definitely, and then even maybe the new guy they got there, Carson, I've heard a lot about. I don't really know how much potential he's going to have for this season. At receiver, he's got Michael Thomas, Deshaun Jackson, Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, and Mohamed Sanu. Michael Thomas, he's now the number 1 option in New Orleans. He finished as a number 7 receiver last year. I think there's a strong chance he still finishes as a top 10 receiver this year. I like Thomas. I think he's a great player, so he should be a good producer for him. Deshaun Jackson, he had a decent season last year. He did finish as as receiver 35. He's one of those guys that's going to have good weeks and he's going to have horrible weeks. It's just up and down. He's not a very consistent player. He's really just, you hope he gets the big play. That's the kind of player he is. Marvin Jones, he really started off great last year and then really tailed off when teams started to focus a little bit more on him. He's playing behind Golden Tate. I don't know how much they're going to target him in the red zone because obviously a free agent in our league, I believe, is Kenny Galladay, and it seems like they're a big fan of him. I believe he's 6'4". So we'll see if Jones can do anything this year. Zay Jones for the Bills he could be the number 1 receiver for the Bills. I know they have Jordan Matthews, but he's kind of dealing with injury, and he's more of a slot guy. Zay Jones is going to help them spread the field, hopefully, and they're talking big things for him. Tyrod Taylor definitely has a big arm, so he can definitely get it to him. So we'll see if that works out for him there. And then Mohamed Sanu, solid option there. He's probably going to get you a good 6 to 8 points per week. Um, Not a big touchdown guy. They definitely like to give the ball to the running backs or obviously Julio Jones. They like to use Taylor Gabriel in the offense. Austin Hooper is expected to kind of step up this year, so we'll see kind of a flyer there. He also has J.J. Nelson here for the Cardinals. J.J. Nelson is kind of more of the number 4 receiver. He's very similar to Torrey Smith and Deshaun Jackson. I mean, he's a speedster. If he doesn't make a big play for you, you're probably not getting much out of him any week. We look at his tight ends here. He has Kyle Rudolph and Jordan Reed, 2 very, very solid tight ends here. Kyle Rudolph actually finished as the number 2 tight end in fantasy last year. Jordan Reed could be the number 1 tight end in fantasy if he could stay healthy. His whole problem is health. He's a great tight end. I really like him, but he's very risky given his status of his health throughout the years. So we'll see. He's still injured now, so we'll see if he'll be able to get out there on the field and be productive. At defense and kicker, he's got the Broncos and Mason Crosby. Broncos defense was number 2 last year. I mean, they got great defensive players on that side of the ball. They should be at least top 5 defense again this year, so it's a great pick there. Mason Crosby, actually, it looks like he was the number 17 kicker last year. I mean, I like him. He's on a team that's going to put up points in Green Bay. We'll see how well he can do this year. I definitely expect him to improve on that ranking at kicker there. So the next team we have on the board here is Joseph's team. Joseph is at quarterback. He currently has Tyrod Taylor, and that's his only option. I am not a big fan of Tyrod Taylor. I don't think he has great passing options there. I don't think he is a great passer. He definitely uses his legs. I don't like the Buffalo offense, honestly. And I know Tyrod, I believe he got a concussion last week, so we'll see how that affects him moving forward. Looks like Joseph also at running back has LaShawn McCoy, Ty Montgomery, Bilal Powell, Mike Gillislee, Doug Martin, and Latavius Murray. Obviously, McCoy is going to be one of the top running backs in fantasy. I'm not personally not a big fan of him. I'm also not a big fan of teaming him up with the quarterback on the same team, especially in an offense that I don't think is very good. McCoy, as long as he stays healthy, he'll put up numbers. He'll clearly be a top 10 guy as long as he's healthy all season. He gets enough touches, and he's a good enough player to produce out of that position. Ty Montgomery, he's the number 1 guy in Green Bay. Obviously, last year he got converted to that position. We'll see if he can improve on what he did last year. I don't expect him to get a ton of carries, probably 10 to 12 a game, but he definitely will get some catches out of the backfield, and maybe they like him, maybe they use him. We'll see how it goes. Bilal Powell, I think he's probably going to be the number 1 option for the Jets. Looks like they're trying to trade Forte, so clearly they're not looking to use him a lot. Powell played very well last year when Forte was hurt, and even at the end of the year when Forte came back. He's very dynamic in the passing game for them. I don't like their offense. I think they're probably the worst offense in football this year, given some of their injuries and their quarterback play. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to hand the ball off a lot, because they're going to probably be playing from behind nearly every game from, in my opinion, majority of the games for most of the game. And he'll get some carries and stuff. He could be good, but it's tough to put a player on with that kind of weakness around him in your lineup. He's got Gillislee here for the New England. Before preseason started and everything, I thought he was going to be great. I really liked him, but there's so many running backs in New England. Gillislee, Burkhead, James White, Dion Lewis. I mean, who's going to get the ball? I mean, we know how the Patriots like to do things. They spread it out. You never know what's going to happen. It's a nightmare to try to deal with as an owner. So we'll see if that can work out for him there. Doug Martin, I really like Doug Martin this year. He looked great in the preseason. He is suspended for 3 games, so we'll see how that affects him. I think Tampa Bay's offense is going to improve this year, so I think that's a very solid pick there. He's got Latavius Murray here, who was okay last year for the Raiders. He's obviously on the Vikings now, and he's having to deal with Dalvin Cook, who looks like Cook is going to be the #1 guy. I'm sure Murray will get in there from time to time. He may even get some of the goal line work, which is obviously beneficial for fantasy. So we'll see how that works out there. But he's not a great option to put into your lineup. Till you get some more clarity in that situation. At receiver, he's got Alshon Jeffrey, Jarvis Landry, Jeremy Maclin, and Jordan Matthews and John Brown. Alshon Jeffrey on a new team this year on the Eagles. He should be their #1 target in the passing game as long as he can stay healthy. So if he can stay healthy, I like his situation there. Jarvis Landry on the Dolphins. With the quarterback change between Tannehill and Cutler, I think that brings his value down some. I feel like Cutler likes to look down the field a little further. So I like Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker a little better in that situation. Landry's still a stud receiver. He'll probably still will lead the team in catches. I just think he'll probably be a little worse than he was last season. Maclin on a new team as well on the Baltimore Ravens. As long as Flacco stays healthy, Maclin should probably be a solid producer. He should probably be at least a top 30 receiver this year, maybe even top 20. If Flacco's there, if Flacco's not there, he's not going to be able to produce. Jordan Matthews on a new team as well in Buffalo, dealing with I believe it's a fracture in his sternum or something like that. Not sure what his status is starting the season. I like him as a player. I don't like his situation. Once again, that's another Buffalo player on Joseph's team, so not too fond of that scenario there. And he's got John Brown on the Cardinals. John Brown is a very good player. His problem recently is dealing with his sickle cell trait issue. It appears that it causes his injuries to take longer to heal than most of the other players. So we'll see how that affects him this year. If he can stay healthy and that issue doesn't bother him, he could be a very, very good receiver. At tight end, it looks like he's got one guy here. He's got Martellus Bennett. Martellus Bennett is on a new team this year, the Packers. So he definitely has Aaron Rodgers throwing in the ball, which almost always increases somebody's value. Traditionally, the Packers haven't utilized the tight end much. So I'm not really sure how many targets he's going to get and things like that. But, it's always definitely worth a flyer there. No issue with that pick. Could be great. Could not really be much, but definitely worth a flyer there. And then he wraps his lineup up here with the Jaguars defense and Matt Bryant. Jaguars defense is definitely improved with some of their offseason acquisitions and things like that. So I think they'll be a good defense this year. I don't know how great they'll be, but definitely worth a flyer. Could be very good. We'll see. Obviously, their offense isn't going to help them out much, in my opinion, as far as giving them better field position and things like that to help help prevent them from giving up points. And then Matt Bryant on the Falcons, great offense. He was the #1 kicker in fantasy last year. He should definitely be up there again this year, so a pretty solid pick there. Moving on here, we got Dalton's team. He is at team number 9. We're going to speed this up a little bit, hopefully, because it's taking a little longer than I expected. So Dalton has Mariota at quarterback. That's his only quarterback. I really like Mariota this year. I think he's going to be very, very solid. At running back, he has Carlos Hyde, Amir Abdullah, C.J. Anderson, Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara. I actually like Carlos Hyde this year. He was the 15th ranked running back last year, but he's got the Kyle Shanahan as his head coach, and obviously Kyle Shanahan did great with Freeman and Coleman in Atlanta.